Let's go live now to Independent Senator David Pocock. David, good to see you. Welcome back to the program. We've got the budget in mind. There's been a fair bit of speculation. Michelle Bullock really throwing a not unexpected spanner in the works yesterday. So, I mean, if you were in the Treasurer's position, do you accept that it's a difficult position when he needs to provide cost of living relief, but he's also got to make sure inflation stays down or gets down?
No doubt, budgets are tough, and really budgets are about our priorities and where do we want to head as a country? Do we want to continue down the path that entrenches inequality, where we're starting to see a class of people who own property able to hand that down and a bunch of Australians who are totally locked out? Or do we start to use things like tax reform, which he's talked about, to turn that around? Do we start to look after young people who are having these ballooning HECS debts and facing a cost of living crisis at the same time? So this really is about priorities, and I would love to see the major parties looking beyond the surplus this year. But what does this mean for our future in 10, 20, 30 years' time as a country?
Yeah, it's a good question. Housing, the key that you mentioned there, young people have just given up, a lot of them, on the dream of ever owning their own home. This is just one budget. We know it's a long-term problem. What one measure would you like to see in this budget that might help now?
I think a really practical one is doubling the size of the Housing Australia Future Fund. Talking to community housing providers, it sounds like it'll be totally oversubscribed. There is actually capacity within the community housing providers to build more social and affordable housing, so the government should absolutely double that. But to go to Senator Hume's point about dealing with the root cause, I find it pretty astounding that the major parties will say that. Then at the same time, when it comes to things like housing unaffordability and exactly what you're saying, young people locked out of the market, they won't even touch tax reform and looking at capital gains tax discounts and negative gearing. We have to start to turn this ship around.